everybody, it's Kendéll Lenice, and welcome to Kendéll Lenice Live right here on YouTube. Before we go any further, do me a favor and subscribe below. This is part 2 of Black Love, and we're talking to newlyweds. I have the Whites and the Cunningham still with me for part 2, and we're just going to dive right in because they have so many things and so many stories to talk about and to share with us. And we're talking about being married. This is Black Love. We're Black people. I'm a Black person. This is my channel. This is what we're talking about. And it's really to dispel the myths and to really get a deeper understanding of relationships and one another, and talk about some of the things that we go through, some of the preconceived ideas we have, some of the judgments, some of the pains and the struggles that we have in marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's not always easy. It's not always cupcakes and sunshine. You know, sometimes there are hard times. Vinique is shaking her head. Her head is about to fall off. It's not, but it's about withstanding, if that's what you choose to do, and surrendering to love, and most importantly, surrendering to the process. Now, I will say this before I reintroduce my guest. I was going to do a couple of different forums. I was going to do with newlyweds. No, originally I was just going to do couples, right? Then I said, okay, let me do newlyweds. Let me mix it up and have people that have been married 20-something years or 10 years, or just to have a bit of everyone. But let me tell you, it was about 5 people who floss on social media. Their marriage is the most beautiful thing in the world, but they were like, can't do it right now because we having problems. We are going through. It was so many people saying that. No, and one of the people that I wanted to come on, she was like, we ain't good. I don't know if we're gonna be good. But then on social media, you see this beautiful relationship. And what I don't like about that is you have so many people trying to aspire to have this perfect relationship, and they're falling apart behind closed doors. So it's not about judgment, because people can post what they want and people can say what they want, but I want to show the realness, because it is real. So if you're getting into marriage, you got to know what you're getting into, and it is for better or worse. James and Vinique talked about that. Jesse and Precious talked about that. We talked about that. So it's important that you're going to stick and stay. You know, this is not Daryl and I's first rodeo. This is not James and Vinique's first rodeo. It's not about how many times you've done it, if this is the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. It's about what you're learning and what you're going to get from it, and what you want to do right, what you want to change. And that's really what it's about. So I want to welcome back the Whites, Vinique and James. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, my husband, Daryl.
Thank you. And you too, Daryl.
And you too, Daryl. And you too, Gary Coleman. If you know about Mark, you gotta watch that. And you too, Gary Coleman. But and then Precious and Jesse, the Cunninghams, welcome back.
Hey.
Hey.
Bring that fire. Bring that fire.
All right, so Miss Precious, well, you want to talk about the better or worse first?
In regards to how do you see when you get to that part in the verse in the marriage about better or worse, or what does that mean to each couple?
Starting with Precious and Jesse.
Yeah.
So for me, it means a lot, because I come from a past of being rejected by my father, being abandoned by him, and that definitely plays a part in my relationship. And when I entered into a relationship with Jesse, and I knew that this is what God wanted for me, who he felt for me, there was nothing that, especially once I say I do, there's nothing that's going to make me feel like we can't get through it, you know, because especially when I said my vows to Jesse, I truly meant it. I was shivering with overwhelming love, and like my heartstrings were just like being pulled, because everything that I said in that moment, even before that moment where I married Jesse, I meant that I am willing to work things out, you know. And just push towards doing all that I could do in a relationship to ensure that they live up to those words, for better or for worse.
And I want to also ask you, Precious, what are you learning about marriage so far?
So far, I'm learning that marriage is a day-to-day process where you have to commit yourself every single day. You wake up, your goal should be what I can do to keep this marriage. That's
real.
What I can do to show my partner that I love him. What I can do to show my partner that I'm listening. What I can do to help to push my partner to be the best that he can be. The goal is to fall in love every single day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like every day, you're taking it day by day. Every day brings something different. One day you're up, one day it's plateau, and one day it's down below. So it's an ongoing process. And like you said, the weak can't survive in marriage life. The weak can't is weak. It's not for the weak hearted. You have to be vigilant. You have to be strong, especially if you say that you love someone, then you have to show that. You're going to
it's action.
Action. Yeah, action.
Yeah.
So that's what that means to me.
And you want to say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, he was saying Jesse.
I want to make sure you get
He's looking out and he want to make sure you say your say.
It's important that men speak.
Yeah.
It's important that men speak.
That's perfect. He said it's important that men speak. And I think that that's so powerful, really. To shut up and listen.
You may not feel like way tomorrow.
I honestly do. I think women should shut up a lot of the times and allow the man to speak and to be heard. And I really think that that's important for all women. To just shut up and let the man speak as I let you speak.
Yeah, I just think there's a limit. I love that my wife has a voice. I want her to have a voice, and I've been teaching her daughter how to have a voice.
Yeah.
No man crowd your voice and talk down to you and dictate to you. I don't dictate to her. I don't dictate to our daughter. I want her to be able to stand up to me. When I'm doing something wrong, stand up to me, approach me. Because I'm the first man in her life where really actually her father should be the first man in her life to teach her how to deal with young men and boys. So I noticed he wasn't doing that. So I say, even if it's against your father, stand up and speak your piece. Be disrespectful, but let them know what's on your mind.
Yeah.
I got 9 sisters. Yeah. I got 9 sisters, and from me seeing all my sisters, I seen how men always talk down to them. They towered over them. They do things that they didn't want to do. So when I met, I told her, I said, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to be the man that come in here and have to think I have to put my foot down all day. So she makes me put my foot down. What I mean? Sometimes I can be too humble, and she'd be like, see, you need to open your mouth. You need to say something.
Because women like that. Women like that.
But I feel like if she's not my biological child, I feel like she's not the disciplinary. You the disciplinary. I'm the passionate one. I'm the one to talk to. You know what I mean? And she can come in and ask stuff about what her moms do and stuff. But to get back to the subject, when I seen her, the way she explains how all the men in her life, she's the caring person. And I noticed that when I met her, I was like, she's very caring. She always looked out for me. She always kind of like wondered what I was doing. Am I satisfied? Are you feeling comfortable? She asked all these questions, and she always tried to meet my needs. And I seen that from the men in her life, her father, her children's father, how she tried to cater to them. I said, it's unnatural. It's unnatural that you have to always be this way and let them do that to you.
Right.
When I met her, I've been told, I said, I'm never going to turn my back on you. I'm going to always love you. Though I have verbally a lot, I can't do this
Yeah.
You talk too much. I can't stop. She never said she'll leave.
No.
I'm quick. Hey, look, I'm gone. Stay.
I think we got there yet.
James say he hasn't got there yet. So
They
James,
get there yet.
Talk more than me.
what you say? He talk more to you?
He talk more than me.
Oh, this one can get on the roll too. Because I have two sides. Like sometimes I just like to listen. I like to chill, and I honestly don't like to talk. I like to be in the cut. And in those days, he pick it right on up.
That's from being quiet for so long. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
same here.
You'll get it all out.
All right, you about to catch this thing right here.
That's how she be though. If I be quiet all this week,
Right.
Hey, she gonna get everything out.
Everything out.
One day.
Everything out. Yeah.
I be like, damn, everything was peaceful.
And then this will be like, well, you ain't listening to me. I'm like, you ain't listening to me. Everything you want to get out, I'm sure you got out.
Oh my goodness.
Because and that's what we were talking about too, finding that balance.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person that I like to resolve things and let them go. You know what I mean? And if you keep putting them on the back burner, say this is not the time, then what happens is you have the same argument every day for a week because it's not resolved. So it's the same thing, and it's like you talking about the same thing, because it's not resolved. I like to resolve it if it can be resolved.
That's the key.
And put it to bed.
Right.
And put it to bed.
But the key is.
But he says everything can't be resolved.
But the key is, if it can be resolved, I think you have to know your relationship and know when to do what battles need to be fought and which ones need to just are so small that it shouldn't necessarily play a bigger role than it actually is.
That's true.
And I think sometimes, and it's okay. I do believe you can't conquer what you don't confront.
Yeah.
However, I think it has to be within the timing in the timing of the nature of the relationship when you pose certain questions, ask certain things. Not to avoid them, but you got to know what's been happening in the relationship to me first. Like if we haven't really been flowing, don't add another non-flowing item into the situation to give us 4 more days of non-flowing. But if we're flowing good, don't interject something that's going to be a negative necessarily at that time either. You won't always be able to conquer everything, right? We're going to have to come to a meeting where, hey, we just disagree. We went over there. I don't want to wake up with the same thing I've been dealing with for 3 days.
See, that's her thing. Her thing is, I used to get upset with her when she'll always say, okay, we did that. We talked about it. Let's get over it. What's your favorite word? Let's get over it. It's another day. And to me, I should be like, no, that's too quick. You know what I mean? That's too
but I'm quick. But I'm very quick. I'm very quick.
She was constantly doing that. It's over with. Okay, let's yada yada yada. Yeah.
You get over stuff too quickly. He gets over.
She get over stuff quick. She's like, it's over with. We talked about it. We had that little tiff. Let's get over it. And I used to be like, no, it's not gonna get over that quick. We need to talk.
And you don't want to
happen again. You know what I mean?
What you say, James?
You don't want to go to bed angry, because if you go to bed angry, by the time you get ready to go to sleep, some might pick up that argument or that disagreement back up, and y'all bickering back and forth, and before you know it, it's late. So you want to, like you said, get it done and over with, throw it away, go to bed. It's a new day.
So you saying you want it to die down before it's sleepy time? Like, don't bring all that to bed. Let's handle this and then go. And I think that's very wise.
Yeah, that's why it's always good to say a prayer.
In the bedroom or argue in the bedroom. I don't think you should argue in the bedroom. I don't think you should bring that to the bedroom. I just don't think that.
That's the best place for it to go down there.
What is
that?
You
got quick resolve there.
Y'all don't make James leave the room.
Right. Let's see him get out the room.
Hey, you can get over real quick.
Right. He had to put up the church finger.
He got the church finger up.
But I think it's really about knowing your mate and understanding your mate. And, you know, we're talking to newlyweds here. You know, people are just kind of finding their way through. These couples are finding their way through. And even we still, we are on that. We know now, we know how to flow. We know what, like, we got the groove, you know, and you got to find that groove. You got to, if you know something bothers that person, but you feel strongly about it, then you really have to just pause for a moment and say, okay, is this going to help the situation or is it going to hurt the situation? Do I have, is this something that I have to get out, or is it something that could just, you know, it's not that big of a deal? And like you said, just really picking your battles and really what really is important and what's not, because is it going to affect this person in a positive light, or is it going to affect this person in a negative light? If I tell you that you didn't, if every time you leave the toilet seat up, let's just say, right? Because I don't say it.
I'm working on that thing. I ain't gonna care. I'm working on it.
Hey, we got the way we do it. She leave it up for me. I leave it down for her. That's how.
There we go. That's
Hey, look, if I go in.
So this is the thing. So this is for the people who complain about the small things all the time. So there are a lot of times that I don't say anything. I just go in there, get the little piece of tissue, touch the toilet, and put it down, and then go do what I gotta do. But then, if it happens like 26 times, the 27th time, I might be like, babe, can you, you know, but you don't have to nitpick everything. Like every time somebody, if you don't have to say your shoes are in the middle of the floor. It's not going to hurt you to pick up the shoes and take them out of the middle of the floor, put them in. So you got to really pick your battles, and some of the silly stuff that some people fight about, you just really got to think about it. Like if it's not going to help the person or help the relationship, or if it's not that meaningful. So what? You don't like a dish in the sink. Do you want to go run around and ask who had this dish in the sink, or do you want to just wash the dish and go on about and have a pleasant evening? Like it's certain things that you really want to think about. So with James, I want to ask you, so what are you learning about Vinique? This was the person that was meant for you. This is the person that God chose for you. You waited patiently. And then you came through with that surgery, honey, knowing she needed you. That was good. Because James said,
Player.
Look, right, James, let me tell you, James said, if you've seen part 1, you can't go through this by yourself. You're going to need somebody. Allow me to be that person.
That was strong.
Yeah, that was strong. You can't do this by yourself, baby. You need me.
Girl, I'm coming to the hospital for you. That was strong.
You can't sit there and have a hole in your stomach. You need somebody. Allow me to patch that hole.
But you know what? But you know what about that too? I mean, even looking from a perspective as best we can from her vantage point, it was beyond fake though. Yeah. Like, you know, because if you're not genuine, you're not going to submit yourself to that circumstance. To have somebody see you in that way. Right. And you don't have to adopt that circumstance on yourself unless you know something beyond that circumstance with that individual.
Right. You heard what she said the man will run.
Say this again?
I said, you heard she said any man would have ran. They would have ran.
Oh, no question. He wouldn't even came in that situation.
He came to the situation. He was like, everybody else, they fleeing.
So James, that's right. That's right. Jesse said you came to the situation. Yeah. You didn't flee. You came to it. Like, hey, you can't do this. So, but that shows a lot about your character. And I think character gets so underrated in relationships. Like, and then you talked about substance. I always say substance over everything. Like, you gotta look at somebody's character. Once you get to a certain point, it ain't about what they got, what they don't have, what they look like. It's about the character. What is going to sustain that person? What can that person pour into you? And it sounds like your character is strong. Jesse, it sounds like his character is very strong. Daryl, your character is strong. You know, you're welcome. And it sounds like, you know, we have amazing men right here. So what have you learned from this woman? What have you learned from Vinique about her in this relationship?
Well, I learned a lot. And some of the things that, I asked her to do, even though she would say no, I still put my heart and soul out there and do it for her. No is like, no is not an answer. I do, without a doubt, I do everything. I cook, I clean, I say, sit down. It's just me and you. Sit down.
Come on now.
You cook and clean, Mike. Come on.
God gave me a purpose, and I'm here to serve that purpose, and I'm going to live my life for that purpose without a shadow of doubt. And I love Vinique and the things that I do for her.
Look, you made her turn around and look at you. When you said that, she said.
Yeah.
It sounds a little different there, a little stronger.
Oh no, it's telling the truth.
Yeah. That sounds a little stronger there.
Yeah.
That's my heart with that one.
Yeah.
But you saying, and go ahead.
I said, she's my everything. And, when God gave me to her and I said divorce is
Not an option.
We signed a no divorce clause before
contract.
We did that.
I need a copy of that.
Can you email that to me, please?
Yeah.
We sat there and this was
Do you got my email? Can you email that?
You need that one.
Hey, I need that one too. Hey, we're gonna high five in there.
Getting double locked in.
We already locked in.
Yeah, right.
So Daryl and I don't know if you remember when we did it, we were sitting in the car. We must have known each other. We weren't even married yet. We weren't even engaged. We didn't even have an engagement.
Yeah.
We're going to do our wedding over
Yeah, that's
too.
so crazy.
But we didn't even
That's
have an
crazy. That's
engagement. He was like, "You my wife, we're getting married." Like,
That's
it
it.
literally,
Right.
we didn't even have an engagement stage.
Uh-huh.
But this was probably a month in. We were sitting in the car and we got out our phone and we did this divorce contract that I just made up. Because we were talking about divorce is not an option. We're not doing it. And we weren't even married yet. And we signed it, went in DocuSign, and we signed it, and we still have it. And that was even before we were married because we knew what our mission, right. We knew what our mission, and that's what I'm talking about. Every relationship, every marriage has to have a mission statement, you know, and I just don't want people to, it's important to say, okay, again, what do we want to achieve from this relationship? It's just not the fluff. What are we trying to do? What are we going to withstand? And I think it's so important for people to remember that when you are going through the difficult times, when you are having the hard times, to really say, okay, you hear it all the time. Well, what made me fall in love? Or what do I love about this person, opposed to why did he or she get on my nerves or this happened, to really look at what truly matters and bring it back to that.
And to, I wanted somebody who could handle the valley as opposed to the mountain. If you can handle the valley with me, and the things that we're going to experience willingly and unwillingly, because the valley is when you're tested, tried, and you are brought to, and you're under the heat of the pressure to become that diamond.
That's your tribulation,
right? And that's when you'll know what you really are made of, when you go through the valleys of the shadows of death. Again, through. Not staying, not parking, but we're going through something to get to something greater and something better. Sometimes that through period or that valley period can last longer than it's anticipated or expected.
You said this because he always says, they say it's joy in the morning, but how long is that night?
How long is the night?
Until
how long is that night season? Yeah, how long is that night season? You don't know. So I think it's important for couples, young couples, and I know for us, we had a lot of tribulation and trials on the front end of our marriage.
He had a lot of, and he had a lot of different family things that were just
a lot.
It's like a lot,
on the front end, as opposed to the middle or the end or spread out.
Yeah,
we've experienced what some couples don't experience in 20 years.
I
believe in the
beginning.
I believe that's how we was, because from the beginning we went
and
through.
Monique and James said them too.
Yeah.
We went through a whole lot from the beginning. The reason why I know that I won't divorce her, I know I won't divorce her for one.
Look at Precious. Look at Precious.
All right now.
Precious like
Send an email.
We got it on tape.
For one,
We got it on tape.
for one.
We got it on tape.
You're right. That's better.
Exactly.
Verbal confirmation. Verbal confirmation.
Look, Precious gonna be like, Can you show
Run
me
that
roll
tape.
back?
Roll that tape back.
Roll back.
What he
Roll
gonna
it
say?
That's not even an option for me though. That's not even. It's something that don't even come on my mind because
Right.
one, I married her too fast, which I don't think is fast.
Yeah.
But I married her really, really fast because I seen the quality of woman that she is, right?
Yeah.
I seen the way she treat her dad with such and reverence. She treat her children's father with so much respect. They didn't even deserve it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
When I seen
So
that,
imagine you deserving it.
and you know what I said? I said I got to put her in the right place. I said I got to get her from out of that relationship right there because it's not natural. I said I need everything she's given to him, her father, and everything she's given to her children's father. Because she was loyal. And I was like, why are you so loyal?
To people that
Yeah, that people that hurt you. Every time I talk, you crying. He did this, my dad.
Yeah.
My father talked to me all types of ways. And when I seen the way he talked to her, in my mind, I said, nah, I gotta have her back. She need a man. Women need a man in their life, not just take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Not to have liberties with her. You know, like they say, some people in your life for a reason and a season. That's true.
Right.
So I knew that, and I said to myself, I said, I'm gonna be in her life for life, as long as
For life.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be for life. I said because the first thing when me and her got together, an individual on the outside said, he better be in your life forever. In other words, you're telling me and her that if I leave, you can't wait till I leave so you can treat her any type of way.
Any type of way, right.
Now is to build her up so she can have it. And she know what her rights is upon me. I know what her rights is on her. She know what her rights on her daughter. Her daughter had rights on her. Her children's father had rights. And got to be in their own zone.
Yeah.
Can't cross over to that zone. You say that like he talked to her any type of way. You this is my at the time, this is my fiance. I told your children mother. I said, but Slim, this is my fiance. Her any type of way.
Right. Right.
I said, so let's correct that. So once I seen that, and I seen how she backed a person, I said, that's the type of backing that I need. I need somebody.
Yeah.
Ever since she always been behind me, always supporting me. You know, beside me, or you know, most of the time in front of me for real. In front of me for real.
Right.
So then women like to see too.
But you know, but Jesse, do you know what you show Precious? You show Precious what a man looks like.
Exactly.
She did not have a man, whether it's a father, whether it's her daughter's father. She saw little boys who did not know how to handle and speak to and talk to women. You know, you showed her what you stepped in and gave her what she needed because she did not have that voice that you are giving her daughter right now.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? You did. That's what a man looks like.
You said that.
And I had to put stuff in writing because I had to know that, you know, I'm serious about this marriage. I've been living with a woman, or we've been living together we've been together for 3 years out of the 6 years. Marriage never came to my mind one time.
Wow. Yeah.
Never, not one time. Not having children, not nothing. When I met her, after the conversation, a couple of weeks went by, first thing came on my mind is, I'm gonna marry her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Wife
That's right.
That's
That's right. It don't, that comment said it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. I'm just saying. It don't take a whole day.
So I said, I started saying, let me start putting stuff in writing. You got my social security, you got my birth, You got everything. I let her have everything. Yeah. So here we go. Just a driver's license. This is me. I'm transparent. These are the codes to this. This is the code to right now. She got the codes to all my accounts because I'm like, I have to be transparent.
Yeah. You are. You showing her what a man looks like. A confident man, a secure man, a righteous man. That's what you're showing her.
Yeah. And you being transparent, which is key. Because a lot of time for us as men, we got trust issues. You know, we have trust issues. We have issues in regards to whether it's okay to cry or not. You know, how and being fair to us, we have to know what type of woman we have. Meaning, is she a woman that's excitable, or she's a little bit more nervous under pressure? If I tell her a certain thing that I may be concerned or worried about, is that going to increase my level of worry? You know what I'm saying? So to have a person that has your back and be loyal, you know, and then we as men got to understand something. These women, a lot of time, because of our errors in our past, when we were immature, we caused them to become additionally strong and to play the head of household role when they may not have necessarily wanted to do or be that. They were forced into being that. So now when you think about it from their perspective, it's like, well, okay, I got my house, I got my car, I got the things that I've obtained. You know, now I need love. But when we come in, they may be so damaged and the trust issues from the residue prior, they have a hard time relinquishing authority to a man without us demonstrating and proving first, like you said, here go the number to this, here go the pin code, here go that, to where they can be comfortable enough to surrender.
Yep. You're right.
And it's funny you should say that, Daryl, because that's the situation here. Growing up, we was only girls that my father had. So he taught us how to change doorknobs, how to get a light bulb in, how to even change the screws on the side of the door. So that's what I was accustomed to. So even in the other marriages that I had, it seemed like I had to take that role for a period because that's what I was accustomed to. So when I got with James, it was like, I'm the king. You sit down. I got this.
James
like a big hold on me because I was like, no, I'm used to this. Let me do this. I can change this doorknob. I know how to put the seal in. Let me do this. He was like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. And it took me a minute. I was kind of like, I had that like, no, I know how to do this. I was raised to change this stuff. I don't wait for a man to do anything for you. I need to show you how to do this. So if you don't have one, you know how to do it yourself.
Yeah, but that's so true because it's like even with me, I know how to do so much, and I do it without thinking.
Yeah,
and
she'll do it first.
Exactly. Same here. Exactly.
Like, because you're just used to. Like you know, the faucet was trickling out. I went to Lowe's. I went and got this thing. I done fixed the sink without even, thinking about it. Because if nobody is, you don't think, hey, well, can you see if you can just do it real quick? So you are like when you are used to doing that, and that's something that's important to talk about because there are a lot of ladies out there that are used to doing it all. Wearing a Superwoman cape, doing everything.
Show her how to do the little sink thing. She called me quick. Do it. Yeah, she called me quick. Tell me to do it.
Here's another piece. What I find is in the relationship, first of all, we the men don't necessarily or shouldn't have to always feel like or believe we have to do everything. That's one.
Yeah.
If my wife, because the Bible says that your wife is a helpmate or a helper in the circumstance. So if in a lot of cases, she gonna be leading. We may have to take the step back and be submissive in a lot of ways. If we're being really honest. If she is gifted in a certain area and has a certain talent that she is excellent in, let's say it's the finances, right? Hey, we might need to submit to that authority in her, see that gift, know that, hey, she's been able to handle the finances and can stretch our finances and possibly multiply them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't be able to manage or oversee while this is happening, but if that's her gift, man, run with that. And I should be able to trust that she got our best interests at heart and run with that. Because a lot of times we may need to grow up, surrender, bow down to a circumstance because she may be the one that is the professional in that area.
Mm-hmm.
How y'all feel about that, brothers?
I agree.
Well,
I agree. Go ahead.
yeah, I agree because of the fact that, like I just told her, right now she take care of the finance part. Even though if I go out there and work, and she take care of the bills and everything, and I said I had no problem with that. It's not the fact of saying do you, this is us,
right?
And accepted that role. So, yeah.
But it took me trial and error to know how to do that.
Exactly.
I used to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Then I had to fire Paul and back Peter.
It took me trial and error to do that because I was the type of person, if I wanted that new Galaxy or that new Note, I was going to get it.
Right.
I didn't care less who I had to pay. I wanted that, so I was going to get it.
I'm a financial coach, so I got you free of charge. But you sound like you got it down pat now.
So now I'm still learning. I got some stuff on the credit that I called the people so I can make payment arrangements.
Look, even with the creditors, you gotta communicate. It's about communication.
Exactly.
I agree because work in the house, I'm doing my own work in the house. Sometimes I'll think that she's telling me that I don't move fast enough. And she'll be like, hey, babe, when we gonna finish putting the stone on the bar, or when we gonna do this? I'll be like, hold on, it's a process. She'll be like, well, I paint the wall. You know what I mean? She wants to get in here and do stuff, but I have a way. As I'm working, I'm changing things.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You're more methodical, like you're thinking and you're preparing.
Yeah, exactly.
And women sometimes just do.
Yeah, that's what she is. So she's like, So she like, I'm gonna paint the stairwells. In my mind, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, am I going to paint it the same color as the whole house, or am I going to paint it different? Right. But she said, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I said, you know what? Go ahead, babe. She said, I'm gonna paint it white. I said, go ahead, paint it white. I'm just glad she just didn't choose another color. So I
as long as it ain't the man cave.
Always paint over.
Right, as long as it ain't the man cave. Don't touch the man cave.
But that's a good point, though. But that's a good point, and you don't even know you probably made a good point, Jesse. But that's a good point. Like sometimes you just have to allow that person to be and do.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? And it's not that the struggle and the fight with don't do it, I'm gonna do it. Don't do it, I'm gonna do it. You just gotta trust that mate and allow them to do it. And then if they mess up or something needs to be changed, then you fix it together or have that conversation then. Because sometimes we get caught up in the no, you're not. What am I? No, you're not. Instead of just saying, you know what? Go on and do it. If you got that guy, do it instead of saying, well, you should have done this or you need to speed up the time. Sometimes it's just falling back. Whichever.
She's more proactive. I definitely say she's more proactive than I am,
Yeah.
Slow to doing this. She moves very fast, very quickly.
Me too.
I like to slow down and like think about things as I go. But that was another little issue with me and her. I was like, my thing is, if you move fast, you make mistakes.
Yep.
But if you move slow, you make less mistakes because you correct things as you go. So it's like we had a daughter birthday this week, right? She already had her mind made up how she wanted to do things. When I seen that, I said, let me step back. She already had how she wanted to do the balloons, how she gonna put the sodas in the cooler, how she gonna get the ice. So we went to the store. I had to feel back. I said, let me fall back. She already got her mind. Things going, she moved fast.
Right.
Just clean up behind her the things she may mess up or something like that. But it was successful. And I noticed when I do that, she loved that. She loved when I lay back. And let her, you know, do her thing.
But that's maturity too in the relationship. That's maturity and knowing one another. Like you said, she likes that. So you notice that she liked that. That's important. So if you know that you're making her happy with that, you're going to do that more. Not saying that you're not going to step up when needed, but if it's not completely necessary or it's going to cause a rift, you know that she's going to be in her happiest when you're allowing her to be free, to be you. And we talk about that because he says all the time he just allows me to
allow her to be her gifts, use her gifts. I mean, a woman got 20,000 gifts. I mean, literally. I mean, literally. I've never seen somebody so driven, and she'll come up with ideas, creative concepts, and different things, and go after it and don't wait. Like she's not waiting for anything. You know what I mean? She get a thought. And she manifests that thought. Yeah, she's just a go-getter, and I appreciate it. And I think as men, I think a lot of time too, we have to allow our queens to be the full queenness that they possess.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Like we have to allow them.
You made me sit up straight. Let me sit up straight.
It's gonna be a good night. Sometimes we need to allow them to grow and be able to push them, not just always them pushing us for everything, right? We need to push them into their better self, into their expanding selves, or whatever they want to do. We need to be pushing them as well, you know?
And if they fall short in that process, you know, sometimes when we do things fast, you know, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. Be there to help out and don't make us feel bad about making the mistake.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
We're a team. So where something, I have a plan in my mind about something, but it don't always go the way. That's life, right? And then we have our life partner that's there to help improvise, and that's what he did. So he helped to improvise, and for the things that I fell short, he was there. Exactly. But it's important to not nitpick on those things. Just do it out of and just leave it at that. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You did that. Just we're a team. This is us. We're a unit, and he's not gonna have it perfect all the time. I'm not gonna have it perfect all the time, and that's why we're together, so we can help to make it. Like you said, it was successful. It was hot, but it was.
It was good. But you know what
I appreciate him for that.
See, and did you tell him you appreciated him for that?
I surely did.
See, and that's good. And that's what
she got that big old grin.
But you know, let me just say this. Let me say this, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing from my side, and you tell me if you're seeing it. All right. So this is exactly what I was talking about. Why married people should be around married people, talking about married people things. In the beginning of this, you guys were kind of separated. The more we started talking about marriage and the things, and everybody sharing what they're sharing, everybody started coming together. You started kissing her. You started kissing. It wasn't like that in the beginning. It comes, and that's why it's so important to build a community, to talk about marriage, to be around married people, because then you're going to want more of it. You're going to want to be better at it. You're going to want to try harder. You want to forgive more. You know, but if you're around someone saying, "I wouldn't take that girl," and man, you should blah 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 blah, it's going to do this.
That's funny you say that.
Is going to bring us together.
It's funny you said that because from day one, I used to tell her all the time. I used to say we got to watch out from third parties. I said she's like,
and not James and Unique, not and Vinique, not your third party. We talking about
not your third party. I said. So she was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Third party to me is Facebook, Instagram, friends, your brothers, anybody outside our marriage." Inside of marriage, if the husband is abusive, I strongly believe in this. If the husband is abusive, verbally, physically, spiritually, any type of abuse, harms you, and he is towering over you, possessive, I really think you need to reach out. You're supposed to. I think you're supposed to expose him. You're supposed to expose that type of behavior. If you expose it from the point of view of a therapist or some type of counselor or something like that, if that don't work, then you have to go outside to your family. I need help. So you can't allow it to go on. So I used to tell her all the time that I don't like hanging around single people. Around people who are married or engaged to get married. We're talking about and I said because they can influence you. They can influence you some way, you know, and it's like the devil. If you look at the situation of the devil, he can tell you a lot of good things that's righteous. The devil, you know what I mean?
Because he used to be an angel.
Exactly. So by him giving you righteous dictions, you taking it, he's gonna take that and stir you into a wrong way. You know,
you know your temptation
all the time. This is like a man. If a man trying to get you, he's gonna tell you a lot of good stuff that you want to hear. Ultimate goal is he want to trap you. He want to get you by yourself behind closed doors. So that he can whisper in your ear and try to take you out of your innocence. That third party, I like she always say, why you ain't hanging with your friends? I was like, what I'm gonna do? Smoke weed all day? Drink all day? I say it's hard. I want to stay around the house, you know? She have her friends she hang with, but me, I feel like I don't have friends.
He got my friends. He pretty much be where I go. Because I drag him along everywhere.
But Precious, because your friendship game is strong. You got a strong friendship game, which is amazing. You know, the women that you have around you. So I think that that's great that you bring him and you kind of web him into that friendship, because you know your friendships are solid. And he's saying he doesn't really have friends, or they might be doing something that he's not interested in doing.
But
so
even on that note, sometimes you feel like an outcast because some people think you were moving too fast and you were putting pressure on them because you have moved in a certain direction. I feel like I don't understand how people can be together. I can, but I can't, because I was in the situation for 6 years. You know what I mean? And you say you love each other, you care for each other, and you haven't made that move yet. So I'm like, I don't understand.
It's because you don't want to make the move.
You want the milk without the cow.
Exactly. And all the good stuff is happening. I want the good stuff to happen while we together.
Right. So Vinique, and that was well said, Jesse. So Vinique, what do you, if you had to look at your husband, you know, and think about the marriage, what are you struggling with right now? What is your biggest struggle thus far in that first year of marriage?
The spirit of shut my mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
That's honest.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Because I've been told.
Precious, you might as well raise your hand too. We might as well keep them all up at the same time.
And I've learned that even watching my parents, my dad and my stepmom, I see a lot of stuff that they will talk about, and I try to go, okay, let me see if I can maneuver mine this way and go this way without hitting a wall. And another class that I'm taking for my job is a communication class. And one is a 9-hour communication class for school. And it's teaching me the ministry of shutting my mouth. To close this and open here.
You have two ears.
Have these open. I can't hear because I'm running this. So I'm like, okay, let Vinique shut this and listen, because you don't know everything. So if he's saying something, you can't hear what he's saying because you're steady doing this. And I'm quick to jump in and say something before I think of what I'm going to say. He can say something and it can be right, but I might think I'm right, so I'll run off and jump with it. And we can have a little argument, and I go, "You get on my nerves." He said, "I know." And I'm like, "You know?" He said, "Yeah, I know." So that's our thing now. I would say, "You get on my nerves." He said, "I know, but I still love you."
But I don't do it on purpose. I don't do it on purpose.
But see, you know what? And I think that's so important. And I teach women and I talk to women about this all the time. Like, you really have to know when to just shut up. You have to know when to shut up. And a lot of women, unfortunately, don't know when to shut up. Like, you got to know when to fall back and allow that man to be that man. You are not a man. I don't want to be a man. You know, I'm sure most women, you know, don't I say that? Like, I don't. I want to be the woman that I am, and I would love my husband to lead. Like, I don't have to talk all the time. I don't have to say everything that comes up. It doesn't need to come out. And I think a lot of women need to really know when to just shut up and stop speaking. And you got to ask yourself a question. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy?
And I've learned.
You know what and it's important to know that. It doesn't mean that you don't know. It doesn't mean that you don't have the answer. It doesn't mean that I spent this amount of time doing this and I know this better and you spent this amount and you don't know. Sometimes you just need to just allow them to be. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go, because we're the head. I mean, we're the neck. They're the head.
Yeah,
you
they
get what
can't
I'm saying?
turn
Even if you, right, even if you got to go behind them and go on and fix it because you know they might not know what they're doing, you just go.
Oh, no, I don't have to worry about that with him.
And you don't have to announce it. You just go right behind them and be like, just like you go in the refrigerator. I'm like, he's so spoiled. It's ridiculous. A babe, like, he'll go in the refrigerator, babe, I can't see. I'll be like, it's right there. I'll go, oh, okay, there it is. You know what I mean? And sometimes men are so strong, but they're so delicate in that way. And I do believe, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a woman, they need us.
Oh,
they really need us. I tell them,
like, women can't live without them.
And I'm like, and I would always tell them, I'd be like, you needed a wife.
Yeah, but it's true. It's true. But the thing was, I mean, I know that now. I didn't know that then. I thought I just needed somebody, not the right body.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's a big difference. And so now
I need to write that down.
Yeah, I'm open to all that she is, and it's supposed to be to me and me to her. One thing I know, I gotta be whole. She has to be whole. Then we make a whole. Not two halves coming together to make a whole. Because she's responsible for her happiness.
Yes.
I'm responsible for my happiness. But we do play a role in each other's happiness.
Yes.
I think what happens is I think as people, we get dependent on the other person to make us happy. No, you should be happy on your own, by yourself, with yourself. And then you bring what she brings and I bring together. In other words, makes the sunshine. If that makes sense.
But you know what I'm learning though, when it comes to Precious, I'm learning to let her be that talkative person that she is. I used to make it my business to say, or to get her to look at two things. I used to say, you notice you always got to get the last word. You notice that? I used to tell her that all the time. You notice you always got to get the last word. Even if I say some good stuff that you should have let marinate, sit in.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You know what I mean? You still had to. If you don't give it to me then, if you don't give it to me then.
Right. You look, you said in the right tone.
If she don't
motivation, and instead of them just sopping it up, they roll over. I'm like, yo,
did you come back? I say,
that's my fault. Yep. And they just roll
that salt on it.
I was like, babe, that should have stopped right there. I said, you should have let that marinate right there. You know what I mean? And if she don't do it that day, that week, she gonna bring it back up, and she catch herself, and she gonna come right over that same thing. I was like, you notice, if you don't get the last word today, and I give her, and I tell her, I say, look, Precious, please allow me to have the last word today. Just contemplate what I gotta say. That's all. Just contemplate. But she'll do it, but she already be having her mind made up throughout the week that she's gonna bring that subject back up, and she's gonna narrate under what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, so.
Look at this.
But you know what I think that goes back to? I think that goes back to what you said, Jesse. Like she was not given her voice. That is her voice. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She wants to get that word in because she wants to be heard.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because she wants to be right.
Yeah.
I think that she wants to be heard. And sometimes people think that they hear you or you're listening, but you might not hear. And how you can determine that is if the same behavior happens or the same thing happens. You might have heard her, but you didn't hear her. You know what I'm saying? The response sometimes can tell you that. But if you're not used to using your voice or your voice has been suppressed for whatever reason, sometimes you may feel like you have to get the last word and to be heard. Because at some point down the line, you felt that you were wrong or not right or weren't able to voice it. You know what I'm saying? Express yourself. So then it takes unlearning and undoing to fall back and say and be confident and be like, I know I'm right. It's like, if I know that I'm right, I ain't going back and forth. I ain't arguing. I'm not doing that. I'll just hold that in my heart and then go on and do whatever else he's doing or saying. You get what I'm saying? And it takes practice because everybody wants to say, pick me, hear me, you know, I'm valuable, I'm this, but it has to come from within. And the moment that you change what's going on within, that's when your relationships will start to shift. In any type of relationship where you're not putting the onus so much on everyone else to make you happy, to see you, to understand you, you have a peace within. And then your relationships begin to shift and your relationships change. Not because the people in the relationships change, because most people pray and want the other person to change because the other person is bad. I'm good, the other person is bad. But the minute you begin to be responsible for you and shift what's in you, then the other person is not going to even phase you in a negative way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I feel you on that one because I know since I have been with James, I found myself being more humble and not ready to react and jump because I was quick to. I've told my husband when we first got together, I was a saying that I heard and I adopted it. I can be the best wench that ever done it, so try me. I can be out in your face and be doing something behind your back and you never know it. So let's not try it because I can spot it because I've already done it.
Been there, done it.
Been there, done that, and I got a shirt to prove it.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, I love to hear her talk. You know, it's like, I like to share our experiences. And she didn't like it too much because our experience, I love to share what we went through negative. I love it because I feel like it was building character in us both. At first, she used to think that I was bashing her. You know, she thought I was bashing her. I was like, I'm not bashing you. I'm actually letting you know you have some power in this relationship. You know what I mean? Things that go the way they went. So I said, I'm always like, I don't like to, I'm transparent. Like a lot of people understand my history. I have a history. She has a history. And I love to share my stories, even in relationships. And I say, we got to let people know what we went through to come here, even if it's you hurting me or me hurting you. We got to let people know that it got us here. Because if you like I'm being fake, I feel like I got to watch my words and is it going to please her if I say this? Or I don't want to, you know what I mean, a slave in the house of the slave master, and I'm trying to, what I want to say. You know, I got to always look.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want her to be the same way. I want you to be able to say what you got to say, even if it's against me. It's going to be, it's a good end to it. You know, bad experience, but it's a good ending to it.
I want to commend Precious and Jesse. I want to commend you because of all the couples that I asked, you were up there. I had 4 people that I asked because this was going to be probably, I wanted to have originally like 6 couples, and I was going to have that. And the reason why Daryl and I are kind of speaking more, because I don't want you two to feel like you are just exposing yourselves and we're just sitting back. So, but with 6 couples, I was going to allow everyone to share to help one another. That was the goal. And I will say that Precious said, we're going through a little bit right now, you know, but you guys were the only ones that are going through it that said, you know what, we're going to come talk about it. We're going to still show up. And I commend you for that, because that's saying a lot about both of you. No, seriously.
Testimony can help somebody else.
Because I feel like what we going through is, to me, is normal. It's normal.
Right.
Like, and it's mainly dealing because she refused to drop her pride. I refuse to drop.
Yeah.
Right.
I got ego. She got ego.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trying to kill those things: pride, and ego, and arrogance.
Yeah.
Working with pride. It's like it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she said she said, I'm gonna check with my husband. She said, I'll check with my husband. And she said, I'll let you know. She said, but you know, we're going through it. And I told her, I said, I understand. I said, we've gone through it. Yeah. You know, a lot of couples are, and that's what, and I told her, I said, Precious, that's what I want to talk about, because I don't want to have this superficial idea of marriage, because people have this thing of marriage that, you know, it's all play and no work. I don't like that about anything. Like, you know, you got to put the work in, even to be your best self, because that's really what it's about, is being your best self so you can be a better partner, you know? And I think it's so important to do that. So I thank y'all. I do. I thank you for coming, even if you're going through something. And I want to add, that's right. And James and Vinique, what are the benefits of marriage? What would you say the benefits are? Look, Vinique, somebody to cook and clean.
Well, I like to cook and clean too, but I went on and gave that hat over to him. Because where his former employer, he was one of the head janitors or head person in that field. He was a supervisor. So that's what he knows. So when he said, I'll do it, I was like, okay, I'll sit back, I'll cross my feet, I'll do whatever. If you need me help you, I'm there. No, I got it. You sure? Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So what are the benefits to? What are the benefits? James, what's the benefit?
What's the benefits for you?
The love.
Okay.
So I'm going to challenge you, James. So what happens when you come to the point where love is not enough? What is the benefit?
That's tough.
Communication.
When communication is not enough, what's the benefit?
Pray. And get advice from God. Say, if in case I'm at a stumbling block, I can't get her advice. I'll pray on it and I ask God, what should I do next? Do what can I do next to move on? And I'll humbly wait for His answer. And once He gives me that answer, I'll go right to it.
Wow.
Yeah, because you can't do it alone. You can't do it. You can't do a thing called, you're in the union together, but you can't do it alone. Jesse said, seek help. You know, go to a therapist if certain things are going on. Go to a marriage counselor and coach it. Daryl and I are going to have something for marriage. Well, we were going to have it and then the quarantine, but we're still going to have it for married couples, because this is our ministry. This is what we love to do, to help, you know, people in general, and then with marriage.
And those that are coming up, those that are engaged. Those that are walking the walk right now. Or want marriage. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important for the demonstration. And I think it's important that you come on in the midst of the process. Not just when it's good and we just lovey-dovey and all the sexual. I think you come on in the middle of the process, because that's when you'll be able to teach through your pain. Right. It's important for people to see, we in pain right now, but we still together and we're pressing our way through the pain, because it's going to be the lesson that you learn in the midst of the pain that's going to take you to the most gain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what I learned though? I learned in marriage is this. It's a constant compromise and change.
Exactly.
Constantly.
Yes.
Either it's going to change for the better or it's going to falter and fail. That it was a constant compromise, because I used to always claim to be a recluse, an introvert. You know, you can't be an introvert or a recluse in marriage.
Yeah.
Things that individually that define you. Like I actually believe that every man should have a hobby. You have a hobby, it'll put your mind and your head somewhere else. You have a workmanship that you're trying to fulfill. Especially like my wife, when she see me accomplish things, she always be like, "Hey, that looks so good. I love it." You know, it make me feel good. Like I'm going back in the garage.
Yeah. I'm gonna go do something else.
And then she's like, "I got something for you." I'm like, "Okay, babe, it's cool." You know what I mean? I'm working. I'm constantly working. You know. And I love it when she dresses up. She put her little makeup on. I'm like, exactly. You know what I mean? So.
Even though you like it natural, huh?
That's up.
It's
Natural.
whatever you like. It's whatever they like. It don't. It's whatever. You know, whatever they like. You don't have to put on makeup for him to like that. It's whatever they like. You know. And I think marriage teaches you. No, I know that marriage teaches you so much about yourself and who you are, and it stretches you like nothing else.
Even in an
That's the right word.
It stretches you and it just pulls you and tugs you, and it makes you, and it forces you to grow. It forces you to pay attention. It forces you to listen. It forces you not to be a recluse and to speak up. It forces you to deal with issues and problems, and it forces you to deal with yourself. It forces you to look in the mirror and look at yourself. And I think it's a great way to strengthen who you are, so you can be better for yourself first and for your mate second. As we wind down, I just got a couple of questions. I got one more for you, James and Vinique. What has this marriage, since both of you have been married before, what has this marriage taught you that no other marriage taught you?
My first marriage, I had no help from my family. I kept praying, and between my ex-wife and myself, there was no communication. There was no spiritual atmosphere. There was no. It was like saying, Satan just said, "You know what? I'm in this. I'm in this." And I did everything. I fasted, I prayed, I did all I could. And God said, "Just wait. Just wait." You know, it's like I rushed into it, and you know, because of my first daughter, I rushed into a marriage that I'm ready for. And after I got married, I had another child, and then things just fell apart. And you know, she was abusive, physically and verbally, and I learned from that. And I was about to call the police one time, and I was like, "You know what? No, I don't want my children to see this." I said, "God, what's my best way to figure this out?" I kept praying, I kept fasting, and He showed me the way. He showed me a door.
Yeah, showed you the door.
What about you? That's good. That's good. That's good. And now you have somebody that's accepting of you, that's treating you right. And I want to make this clear. It doesn't mean that you have a perfect person. It doesn't mean that your marriage
I'm
is
not
perfect
whatsoever.
Right. It's about
I'm not even looking for perfect.
Right. But and that's what I want to reinforce to people. It doesn't mean because this one was bad, this one was good, this one, it's about what you've grown from, you know, what, and I always say what you grow through, not what you go through, what you grow through. And to be able to appreciate the love that you have now, you know, with this beautiful woman. I think it's so important because had you not gone through that, you might not have been able to recognize this. You know what I mean? So, Vinique, what for you? What are the things that you learned, and how is this different?
Well, what I have learned over the first two marriages, it's kind of hard, and I don't want to take it to a tearing phase, but it was more of mental and physical abuse on both ends. More mental than anything, and me wanting to have someone by my side because I didn't want to be left alone. That when I went from one person, I went straight to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So when I got married to the first one, to me, I thought it was love, but it was out of convenience as far as I know. It was out of convenience, so we wasn't married that long. The second one, it was a lot in that, and it took a drain from both of us to the point where we just said, you know what, we can't do this. Let's just go on. So when I got with James, I took lessons from the first two and said, I'm not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Different things I had listed that I was not going to do. So with him, when he said that he was abused mentally and physically, I already went through that. So I already
But you know what that's called? It's called a trauma bond. That's what that's called. So, and what I was getting ready to tell you guys, I was trying to wait till you finished, but when you said that, I knew exactly what you were going to say. Those are called trauma bonds. So I'm going to say to you, in the therapeutic world, in the coaching world, in the psychology world, that's a trauma bond. So what I'm going to say to you is make sure that you don't allow the trauma bond to fuel your relationship and stay together just because you are bonded by that trauma. You get what I'm saying? Make sure you work through that and past that, because what can happen is that could be your bond and you want something so much more and so much greater than that. You get what I mean? Yeah.
That's good.
But go ahead, as we're going to round out in a moment. I wanted you to finish. I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget to say that.
So when James and I got together, officially, when we got together, I told him that I have been physically, mentally, spiritually abused, even financially abused. So I know how you feel. And I'm not here to put my hands on you. I'm not here to abuse you, just like you're not here to abuse me.
Right.
So when we get mad at each other, we'll walk away and come back and give ourselves time so we wouldn't say anything to hurt each other. Like like the other couple was saying, to let the fuse go down before we do anything. So then we would come back and say, you know what? Just the other day we had a heated one over a blanket, over one of the grandbabies. Seriously, a blanket. It was our grandbaby's blanket, and he had left it in my sister's car, and I was going outright about it. Like, how could you not forget? How could you forget that? That's the one thing you had in your hand. And I really took it to the 10th power, and he just was in the corner like, for real? Over a blanket? And I'm literally going off like, you know how I feel about certain things? And he was like, well, I made a mistake. And I was like, for real? Yeah, you going back at me? And I sat there for a minute.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, and I sat there, and the Holy Spirit was like, you know you were wrong. You know you was wrong. So I went to him, and I said, baby, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. I'm sorry. It was all over a blanket, but I'm sorry. It's okay. He said, no, it's really, it's okay. And we hugged each other. He said, it's fine. It was just over a blanket.
But you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to apologize. You can't be afraid to apologize.
Right.
And you really have to see yourself for who you are. You have to be self-aware, and you have to be able to self-check and to fall back. Not be afraid to apologize. It's none of that standoff. If you're married and you're a team and you're partners, there's no standoff. Well, I ain't going to apologize till he apologizes. I ain't going to apologize till she. It's no standoff. You're a team. Apologize and move on. But go ahead. And sometimes it's not easy, but you have to do it. You do.
Yeah, you have to do it. And I've learned to do that. If either one of us wrong, it don't matter who's wrong. Either one of us will apologize to each other. He may be wrong. I may be wrong. We both may be right, but we'll still apologize just to ease that stuff down.
Yeah.
I know my temper can be off, and now I know his can be off. Yeah. I've never seen that. So
Let your match.
Yeah, you met my match exactly.
we made history with this show because of all these shows. These are the longest shows, so this is good. These are the longest. So I just want to play a game real quick, and then we're gonna roll out. All right. Okay. So Precious, what is your spouse's favorite color?
Red. Oh, black. Black.
Jesse, is that the correct answer?
He said we still got some work to do.
All she got to do is look at what I'm always wearing. I got a black and white car. I got a black and white van. I wear black and white shoes. I wear black and white shirt.
Anything black and white.
Black and white.
Black and white.
Black and
okay.
I got two.
So Jesse, what's Precious's favorite color?
Blue.
It's one, right?
All right, James, what's Vinique's favorite color?
Red.
Is that correct?
Well, that's one of them.
Yeah.
See, you said color. I picked.
But I put mine together. All colors.
Okay. So Jesse, your favorite color is really gray.
Exactly, huh?
So black and white is gray.
Y'all be on there.
Which is one of mine too, Gray.
So Vinique, what's James's favorite color?
Purple.
Okay, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, what's my favorite color?
Green and purple.
That's correct.
Exactly.
And his is red. He likes red. All right. So another question. We're gonna go quick so we can get out of here. What annoys you about your spouse? And it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. What annoys you about Jesse?
He says he doesn't talk a lot, but he does. He's talking to you.
All right. What annoys you about Precious?
I think she said that because she know that's what I was gonna say to her.
James, what annoys you about Vinique?
Do I really have to say it?
Right. We're gonna end this well.
It's fun, James.
Sometimes she can be a little thorn in my side, and
Okay.
it's like nag. I learned how to get around it, but everybody has
Vinique's looking off into the sunset.
everybody has their ways about themselves. So, it is what it is.
All right, Vinique, how does James annoy you?
Thorn. He's a social butterfly. I don't care where we are, what we're doing. We can run into 20 people that know him. Everywhere we go. And you can look at some of my lives on Facebook where if there's music, James is going to dance. So he's the dancing machine everywhere. He's just a social butterfly. Sometimes it can be annoying. I'm like, can we not go anywhere without somebody you know?
Right.
He get around, exactly.
You sound like my husband. He was like, I so many people, I don't want to share you today.
Yeah.
He'll say that. Because I'm working on my phone, or I'm doing the show, or I'm coaching somebody, or I'm always helping somebody. And he'll say that. And he won't say it like in a bad way. You don't even hardly say it. So he never hardly says it. So when he does say it, then I know.
I think because I don't want her to regret not being what she needs to be. It's almost like a man if he says, "Well, honey, I don't want you to work." Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay if that's her choice, or if that's something that that can be done financially. But what happens if I don't want her to work, but she has aspirations and goals? That starts resentment, you know, because she wants to do things, but yet you're like, well, babe, I don't want you to work. I want you to stay home and raise the babies, whatever. That's
figuratively, because we ain't got no
right. That's not every woman.
I don't want no more.
Every woman. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, no, but it's about really, to me, it was more about, you know, letting her be her true self, her full self, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. You know, with you. So.
And one more thing.
I'm working on something for the night.
The main thing that really annoys me is this is always in his hand.
Oh yeah.
I don't care if we can be watching TV, we'll put a movie on, and he'll be like this. And I'm gonna go say, didn't you ask me to put this on TV? Why are you on your phone?
But that's big for couples, and I'm glad that you said that. And I'm gonna talk to the couples. Sometimes you gotta put the devices down. You gotta put the phone down, the iPad down, and you have to be fully present in your relationship. If you're saying this quality time and you're watching a movie with your spouse and you're on your phone, then are you fully present? You know, and I have to take that advice too. You know, even if I'm just working real quick and doing stuff, you know, like these shows, I have to edit, I have to put them together. Like I'm up, he'll tell you till 4 or 5 in the morning, working. Like that's what I'm doing, you know. So you gotta be able to, if you're watching a movie or if you're doing something with your mate, and this is for everybody, you gotta commit to that time and be fully present. The last question, Vinique, what makes James smile?
Helping people. And
James,
God first, actually.
Yeah. James, what makes Vinique smile?
Her smile and her beauty.
No, what makes her smile?
Yeah.
Oh, me.
All right, James.
Oh, yeah.
Loving the night, boy.
Yeah.
Jesse, what makes Precious smile?
A whole lot, man. It's what really. I think that what makes her smile the most is.
Yeah, she looking off in the sunset.
I'm listening.
She gave me here.
When I come home, I think it makes her smile the most because it's like she can't wait. It's like I see that she can't wait. Like we have a dog. The dog, not trying to put her and the dog on the same page. His whole time. When I come home, he's so happy. It's like he about to break his back. And then I go to she's like the same way, like big old smile on her face, like, hey babe, how was your day? You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh,
Happy. You know.
that's nice.
And what else?
That I love you.
Yeah, and
Wait for the key word.
But wait, but Precious, that was his interpretation.
Exactly.
okay.
This is his.
You know who's running this relationship, huh?
It's not like this not up to debate. So Precious, what makes Jesse
What makes him is
smile?
Helping people, crabs, and good loving.
What was the second thing?
Good loving.
Okay.
Crabs, girl.
Look at her smiling.
I said
So
crabs. Didn't I say crabs?
That's why I did like this.
Yes, I said crabs, helping people, and good loving.
See? That was probably hers too.
The crabs you eat, though.
Good loving was probably interchangeable. That's why she said, and maybe that's why.
And music makes me smile as well.
Yeah. Yes. as she's a beautiful singer, we all know this is Queen P. If you don't know, now you know. People know about the song that I wrote called "It's You," my love letter to God. You know, everybody talks about they love that. She is the voice. She is Queen P. She sings.
Okay, well, I need to hear it. I've never heard it.
Okay. Don't wait. What I'm gonna do is send it to you and stream it so me and Precious can get about 5 cents, right?
Girl,
That's a beautiful song. Cause she is. I love that song. I listen to it all the time.
See, and so does he. So that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
she's
the song,
like,
boy.
you know, the girl, she wrote that. Okay, cause we say, I think
I said the lady, not the
lady.
girl.
I think we that something else y'all was doing, and on the podcast, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I remember y'all from. So she was like, she the one who wrote that song. I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, and that's the song that keeps on giving. Like I'm using that. It's a theme song to a lot of my shows, and so that's the song that keeps on giving. That's something that's never gonna get old. And I remember Precious saying, "Well, you know, my voice. You know how people want because you wanted that range and all of that, but her voice is perfect to me.
Oh, thank
it's
you.
perfect for that song. I love the tone of your voice. So." For everybody out there, if you want to stream the song, if you want to know what we're talking about, it's called "It's You," where all music is sold and streamed, and it's by Queen P. So look for that, stream it, and get your life. You know, get your life with that, because when it's just really a love letter to God, and you can call him whoever you want. But if you know that you've been saved, it could have been from a house fire, it could have been from an accident, it could have been when you were sleeping, you know, driving home, not knowing how you were going to make it or how you were going to make ends meet. It's talking about it's you, you know. So listen to the words, listen to her voice, and stream that. It's a positive song. All right, y'all, this has been amazing. We have broke the record.
Yeah, it was nice. I like that.
So maybe, so did you guys enjoy yourself? I know sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It's a little different when we're here because it sounds like we're all talking together. Where if we were in a room, it wouldn't seem like that. But because it's virtual, sometimes it's like, you know, so we just, you know, work through that. And this is live, everybody. So nothing was rehearsed. Nothing was written down. We just had a conversation as if we were together. And that's the kind of conversations that I like to have on Kendéll Lenice Live, the interview series. So would you guys come back, let's just say, in 6 months? Because we're all still going to be married. Right. Because there's no divorce clauses, right?
Right. Get the paper, huh?
So maybe we'll do not even 6 months. Maybe in December, 3 months, we'll come back. You guys game for that?
Yes. Yeah, most definitely.
All right. So we'll be working on some other things with couples, and I would love to have you. And all you married folks out there, it's so important to have a community of married folks. Wouldn't you agree? I agree. You know, to really do that. And as you guys are watching and you see that we were coming together more when we talked about marriage, even when we were talking about the issues and the problems, we were still coming together. People were kissing and hugging and getting tighter. And that's really what it's about. Wouldn't you say? So I'm going to leave you with the last words. You don't got nothing else to say? Look, he got his talked out for 2 days.
No need to give a sermon after it's already been served, right? Good.
We're gonna be quiet for 2 days. No,
you got the footnote, the side note. You got a footnote, the side note, and everything.
Right. But James and Vinique, thank you.
Thank you all, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Allow the to go to you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, Precious and Jesse and Precious. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us. Yeah. Appreciate it. I really enjoyed it.
We enjoyed talking with all of you.
Thank you. He always says, I'm gonna allow you to do your thing. He never comes on the show. He'll do the podcast. He'll do stuff. And we have a Facebook page, Daryl and Kendell, and we're going to put more content on there as well. I'm talking about all things relationships and really just letting people know it's okay to argue. It's okay to debate, but it's the way you do it. Yes, it's how you do it. And that's what we talk about because you're different people. So you're never going to agree all the time, but you do have to respect one another and come to that common place of understanding. And that's what people really want. is understanding. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you guys. Yep. It's been a pleasure. It's been a joy. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Thank you. It's been a long. We've been talking for like 2.5 hours, y'all. But thank you so much.
2.5 hours.
It is. It is. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification button. And if you want other people to know about this channel and all the great content, make sure you share it with them as well. Thank you for watching. God bless.
God bless.